All right, good morning again. Aviation, flying, soaring above the clouds. It's proof that given the will, we have the capacity to achieve the impossible. Good morning, I'm Janelle Ford, Executive Director of Communications for the City of Killeen. And as we sit here and stand here today, we are witnessing history. It is the first hangar at the Killeen-Fort Hood Regional Airport. And as we gather here, we must be reminded that it took a lot of people and a lot of organizations to make this come to fruition, to unite and come together. So we really appreciate that, and we will be speaking on that a little bit more coming up. I do want to acknowledge a few people before we get to our next speaker in the audience. So thank you again for joining us. We have our city manager, Kent Cagle, here. Congressman John Carter. Congressman Roger Williams' office. Representative Brad Buckley. Former Representative Scott Cosper. Derek Mayo from the Garver, USA. We have KEDC representatives. From the FAA, we have both Jessica Bryan and John McFarland. Steve Jones from Bounds Commercial Construction. Welcome to our Fort Hood Garrison Commander, Colonel Foster. And Fort Hood Deputy Garrison Commander, Greta Buccellato. Chris McDaniel, the Airfield Manager. And of course, we have our Chief Executive Officer of CSI, which is Mr. Alan Way. So I am going to get out of the way and let you listen to our first speaker, which is our Killeen Mayor, Ms. Debbie Nash-King.
Good morning, everyone. I also like to recognize our Garrison Sergeant Major Hall. And our Mayor Pro Tem Ken Wickerson, Council Member from District 4, Michael Hall. So now I just do a rewrap. Good morning to all our political and military representatives, city manager and staff, Chamber of Commerce representatives, Bell County members, business leaders, and community leaders. We are so happy you could join us at this 22,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility. Woo! It is a great day for the city of Killeen and this airport, as this is a beautiful symbol of growth and moving forward. We want to thank our airport director, Mr. Wilson. Where are you, Mr. Wilson? Woo! Thank you. City staff, CSI Aviation, community partners, and everyone who had a role in making this a reality. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication to take on this effort. As your Central Texas hometown airport, GRK staff is committed to safe flights to all pilots and customers and their passengers, and employees who work hard to provide services at this airport. The services at this hangar will be no different than providing what's best for our customers, and that's you. I am no expert on hangars, but this still exceeds my expectations. I am accustomed to seeing the smaller hangars that hold a single plane, so this here is really remarkable. We wish this facility continued success as they support the citizens of not only Killeen, but of Central Texas and beyond. Thank you, staff, Aviation, CIS, CSI, for a job well done. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We're going to have our city manager, Mr. Kent Cagle, come up now.
Good morning. When I look at this hangar, I can't help but think of the impacts this will have far beyond the space where we're all standing today. This project began with part of a $10.6 million federal grant and turned into an opportunity for 40 jobs on 22,000 square foot lot for up to half a dozen aircraft and office operations. This hangar is a catalyst for growth and jobs, a symbol that not only are we committed to a brighter future, but we have a plan to get there. GRK brings in more than $3 million a year and employs about 230 people in our area. The hangar will support our air charter and air transportation solutions for passengers, cargo, and medical missions, and will be a centralized maintenance facility and air ambulance base. We welcome those from Texas and beyond to call this airport home. This airport has grown from a small, intimate space at Skylark Field that had a 70s and 1970s look and feel to having more than 250,000 passengers come through in 2021. That sounds great, isn't it? Love it. And we look forward to the air traffic to continue to increase. Airport expansion is critical because of the growth of this city and Central Texas as a whole, so we must continue to expand. It was mentioned that this is the first hangar we've had at this airport, but it won't be the last. I'll let our aviation director, Mike Wilson, speak more about that. But projects like this are vitally important to help with economic development, and this is definitely worth the investment. I'll wrap by mentioning the great amount of appreciation we have for Mr. Wilson and our staff in getting us to this point. They've done an exceptional job securing millions of dollars in grants over the last few years for several projects that have put the airport in such a great position. The first grant for this hangar was issued in 2019. Since then, we've received 21 grants worth nearly $33 million for this airport. Please, let's give him and his staff a big round of applause. Mike? All right.
Thank you, sir. We are now going to welcome up Congressman John Carter.
Well, thank you for having me here, and I'm very blessed to represent this part of the world. I've spent this break, they call it a break, cutting ribbons and visiting new facilities all over Central Texas. The world has discovered us, and they're coming with big bucks. We should be very happy that we have a transportation facility like this, because they'll be utilizing it in the very near future. The things that are happening in Central Texas are beyond anything you can comprehend. The investment by Samsung in Williamson County is the largest foreign investment in the history of the United States. It started at $17 billion. They've now announced $200 billion. That's quite a bit of money. So a lot of small countries don't see that kind of money. So realize that we are living in paradise, and welcome to paradise. We're happy to see this fantastic facility. I've been in a few hangars. This one's mighty clean, mighty nice. And I appreciate y'all having me here. Good luck, CSI. We know you will be successful. and we're looking forward to working with you. If you need me, call me. I'm there for you. Thank you.
These floors are very shiny. Representative Brad Buckley, come on up, please.
Good morning. After the weekend I've had with the Aggies and the Cowboys, it's certainly nice to celebrate something today. What an honor it is to be here, and I think we would be remiss if we didn't recognize those now, it seems like many years ago, that had the vision to stand up this joint use airport. The partnership that the city of Killeen has with Fort Hood, and the fact that this partnership exists today was a very, very important step. When at the time it was a beautiful terminal and a way for folks to get places easier, to get to Dallas and Houston and Atlanta, to make those connections, to help our friends and neighbors at Fort Hood get to the places they needed to be. To now you're seeing the second step of that. And we know that Texas is a great place to do business, and Killeen is a great place to do business. So thank you, CSI, for your investment in our community. And I think as we look forward, we need to make sure that we always recognize that GRK is not only going to be a great place for passengers to embark, but it's going to be that next step that this community takes for having better jobs and a better economic future. So thank you to everyone involved. It's an honor to be with you this morning, and to the city of Killeen, to CSI, and to this great, great airport, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, sir. We now have Mr. Don Nicholas, the field representative for Roger Williams. Just kidding. We will now have Mr. Alan Way, the Chief Executive Officer of CSI.
Good morning, everybody, and thanks for being here. I was pleasantly surprised to see the great interest in what we considered a routine opening of a hangar, but that's great. It's great. Let me recognize Mayor Nash-King. By the way, anybody who wins with 72% of the vote has my admiration. City Manager Cagle, somewhere. There you are. Congressman Carter, thank you, sir, for being here. Representative Buckley. Aviation Director Wilson, thank you, sir, for being here. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'll make my comments brief. First, we are very, very glad to be in Killeen, Texas, and appreciative of all the support that a lot of these folks in this room and others have given us to get here. We're obviously here to celebrate a new facility. And I think Mr. Cagle said it earlier that this is the very first hangar of what will ultimately be some additional facilities in the master plan for this airport. But it's still nice to be the first. And we had a hand in helping make it happen. We're very proud of that. I'd be remiss not to mention that 4 people above many, a lot of people shared in the success of this day, but there were 4 people who really made it happen. Matt Van Valkenburg, he was supposed to be here. I don't know if he is. The former aviation director. Mike Wilson, John McFarland with the FAA, and his colleague Jessica Bryant. I don't know if you're here, but why don't you 3 stand, and all 4 if Matt's here, and I'd like you to give him a hand take my word for it, I wouldn't be standing here today if those folks hadn't done what they did for us. But they had the vision and the persistence to see the value that this facility will ultimately bring to the city of Killeen. So our contribution, in fact, how this started, I think I threw a dart on a map. It landed in Central Texas. Because we know we needed to be in Texas. We have operations further west, New Mexico, West Texas. We have operations in Florida. Well, halfway in between is Central Texas. And it was an ideal spot to put a heavy maintenance facility where obviously we have to fly less distance. But what we learned was a great labor pool, a lot more resources than we ever gave it credit for. And we bring a couple of things to this particular neighborhood that I think will ultimately be value added. We fly air ambulance missions. I don't know, I saw on the invitation list there were a couple CEOs of hospitals that were supposed to be here. If they are, this is going to be of interest to them. We built a crew ready room in the back, flight crew ready room, where we'll have a 24/7 air ambulance crew on duty. Most of your air ambulance missions will originate here to fly to more specialized care, like somebody needs to fly somebody that only a Dallas or a Houston or a San Antonio hospital will provide. We'll be able to do that, and you won't have to wait for that aircraft to fly in from somewhere. It'll be sitting here, unless, of course, it's on a mission at the same time. That's not only a resource for the local hospitals in Killeen, it's a resource for Fort Hood. We're a DOD certified carrier. Now, to most of you, that doesn't mean much, but if you're in aviation, that's a big deal. There's only 90 in the world, approximately, give or take one, and it means you've been certified to fly military personnel. Well, last time I checked, there's about 30,000 troops just a little north of us, and that means we're a resource to Fort Hood as well. So we think we bring value to the neighborhood and to the city of Killeen. We're pleased to be here. We also provide on-demand aviation services, providing external air support, airlift where necessary. And we had a contract that was just renewed by the Texas Department of Public Safety, and we're the sole resource for the DPS for external aviation. So if there's a natural disaster or something like that, we get the call, and we're here to help the great state of Texas. Killeen will be our principal maintenance facility, as I mentioned. And we intend to build this facility up with more people. So we're going to bring some jobs. And we're happy to be here. We're just really happy to be here. Of course, it took a long time. And our one contribution, I'll say, when I dropped in and met Van Valkenburg, and Mike was there, and a couple other folks, we talked about coming down here and what if they could accommodate a hangar. Well, they didn't have a hangar at the time. And when aviation companies go looking for facilities, they're generally looking at something that's already built. And normally they need it tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, and you get the drift. We're talking about we need it, maybe a year. This is a 3-year wait, but it was well worth the wait. So our contribution was not moving up the road to Waco, which really wanted us to land there, or someplace else. We had the patience and enough time that we gave Matt and Mike, and then Mike by himself, the time to find that money and help make this happen. And we're glad we did. So, in summary, thank you. Thank you for being such a good host, a community we're going to call home to, and thank you very much for attending.
Thank you, Mr. Way. Definitely well worth the wait. Well, we had a lot of lovely speakers, but we have definitely saved the best for last, and that is our Executive Director of Aviation, Mr. Mike Wilson.
Well, I don't know about the best for last, but I'll take it. You know, I've looked forward to this day for a very long time. You know, we've really been working on this hangar for almost 5 years, 4.5 years. We started working to get readmitted to the FAA's Military Airport Program in December of 2016. Once we were accepted, then we met with CSI Aviation and their team to discuss their needs and what they needed. And so we submitted a grant application for $3.7 million for a 12,000 square foot hangar with 2,000 square foot of office space. Once we received the grant in 2019, we met again with Alan and his team, and he told us that their business was expanding and that they liked Killeen so much that they were going to move their regional maintenance facility here to Killeen. Oh yeah, and that they needed a bigger hangar. Well, that was good news, bad news. Good news was they wanted to invest in our community and our airport, and they wanted to be here. Bad news was it meant that we had to go find some more money. Well, I twisted just about every arm that I could find and some that I couldn't. In fact, I think some people saw me coming and ran the other direction because they knew I was going to be asking for money. Well, it wasn't easy, but we secured a second MAP grant of $1.5 million. And here we are today, 16,000 square feet of hangar deck and almost 7,000 square feet of office, shop, and crew quarters. It took a lot of folks, a lot of support to help get us to where we're at today. Some of them have already been mentioned, but I want to take just a few minutes to thank those that played a big part. First, I'd like to thank Congressman Carter and Congressman Williams and their office. Both men have always been a huge supporter of our airport and also of this project. And not only this project, but it was mentioned a while ago in the last 3 years, 21 grants, $33 million. Sir, we couldn't have done it without your support and your help. We appreciate it. And I know Don's not here, but I'd like to give Mr. Williams a thanks too for his part that he's played. The FAA, they played a big part. In particular, John McFarlane and Jessica Bryant. John was with me from the very beginning when we first started to get back in the MAP program. He was very happy when he got us the first $3.7 million grant. And then when I went to him and told him I needed another 1.5, he kind of looked at me kind of funny. But he rolled up his sleeves and we went to work. Also today we have Mr. Andrew Tamaka today. He's the acting assistant director of the ADO there in Fort Worth with the FAA. And of course, the mayor and the city council. We couldn't have done this without support from you folks. And I appreciate the support that you give the airport and me personally. And then of course, Fort Hood, Colonel Foster and your support. Your team's been great. Brian Dosa and his team played a big part in helping us maneuver through easements and different things. And then of course, Bounds Construction. Mr. Mackey Bounds, are you here? Mr. Mackey Bounds, thank you, sir. Your team played a big part. Jason Guerrero, and I don't think he's here today, but my man Steve Jones, thank you for all you've done. It wasn't easy building a building like this in the middle of a pandemic. We had supply chain shortages, we had COVID things we had to deal with, but they rolled up their sleeves and made it happen. And then of course the KEDC for introducing us to CSI in the first place. Thank you for your support. And of course my aviation department team. Nobody can make this happen by themselves. It takes a team effort, and I thank you to my team. You know, the partnership between the City of Killeen and CSI is something that I'm very proud to be a part of, and I want to thank Mr. Way and his team for investing in our airport, investing in our community, and I want to welcome you to the Killeen-Fort Hood Regional Airport family. And I'm sure I probably left some folks out, but this again was truly a team effort, and I thank everybody that was involved. Now, as the city manager mentioned a while ago, we're not done yet. This is just the beginning. FAA has offered us a grant to build a second hangar right next door, so probably in the next 12, 18 months, we'll probably be doing this again, and I hope to see each one of you here when we do it for the second time. Thank you very much.
Call Mr. Trent up. from the Chamber of Commerce.
All right, a couple of things to do before the ribbon cutting. We want to do our certificate of appreciation. So if the Chamber and KEDC could come up, as well as CSI representatives. And we'll do it right in front of the podium.
Okay. Yes. The microphone. I'll say a few
Scott,
words.
come on over here. Where do you want us?
Right in front.
Okay.
Here you go, Trent. Trent. Terrence.
Scott, you want to sit?
There you go out ahead. It's your project.
We just want to say welcome to Killeen. We look forward to working with you very much. We look forward to you being a member of our community, and this just goes to show great things happen in this community when things all work together. And this is just another awesome opportunity that we're grateful to be a part of. So thank you.
Stand right here for a photo.
Right up here for a photo.
Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you. Oh. All right, if we can now have our city council members, CSI, KEDC in the chamber, Fort Hood, all of our speakers, everyone come up for our ribbon cutting. Mr. Wilson, we're going to have our mayor, Mr. Wilson and Mr. Ray, hold our scissors, please.